There he is. All right. All right, I just need to work on that Esmeralda Alondra. I don't know why. There's blurring together in my brain. I'm getting better at this. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Has it been a good day so far? You think so? Okay, well, we're going to make it an awesome day today. Okay, this is like real kicker. Finish the day off strong. Because this week, you are working on a brand new project to fill in for your assessment on Chapter 3. No test. Okay? You're welcome. Instead, we get a really fun, cool, real-world project. Do you guys remember the thing we did in class of redecorating the classroom? You measured how much carpet we would need to put in, how to paint the walls. Yeah, you're going to do that, but for a whole house, or at least most of a house. Okay? That's the thing. And I'm going to walk you through one section of it together. In fact, spoiler, I'm going to give you one of the parts for the project for free. You're welcome. Okay. So, let's have a look at that. From the top, here's what we're dealing with. Make sure, did I get the submit button? Yeah, I did. Okay. For this project, you will determine costs to do some of the jobs required to finish building a home. You can use the sample floor plan worksheet, the floor plan for your own home, plans in an architectural magazine or book, or if you are ambitious, your own scale floor plan of your dream home. Okay? Up to you. There's a very simple example included there. It works. If you want to do your own house, that can be kind of cool. Or imagine a future dream home. You can make it as big and as elaborate as you want. It is a very specific set of tasks you have to do for the project. So if your dream mansion has 20 bedrooms, don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do 20 times the work. No, no, no. The project says 3 bedrooms. You only have to calculate 3 bedrooms. Don't worry about the rest. All you would need to do is draw it up yourself. Okay? So if you want to go that far, a little creative element to it, you can do that. That's the only extra bit. Full project guidelines are found in the attached PDF. We'll go through that one together as well. But in short, you will be calculating areas, total materials, and total costs for a home renovation project. You will need to read measurements from a floor plan, select and use appropriate area formulas, research materials and installation costs, and write up a full, itemized cost estimate comparing at least 2 options for each of 6 jobs throughout the house. Okay. Well, it's really more like 5 because, again, we're doing one of them together. You will be graded on the accuracy of your calculations, the thoroughness of your research, and the clarity of your project proposal. Okay. Big picture. Any questions at this point? Okay. All right. A few other items here that should go without saying, but I'm saying them anyways just for the sake of thoroughness. Your final product, the thing you attach to this post on Google Classroom, must include the following. Your name and class period. I want that in the document itself. Your chosen floor plan. So even if you use the sample, tell me you're using the sample. Okay? If you're using your house, tell me it's your house. If you look up some imaginary floor plan from some dream home on the internet, tell me where you got it. And include the actual picture in the document. Okay? Even if you're using your house or the sample one, put the sample one into the thing you're attaching. So it's all there. I don't have to flip to another file for me to see what you're talking about. All 5 steps for each of the 6 jobs neatly organized. So that means typed up in some orderly fashion. You can do this as a Google Doc and make just an outline of each. Here's job 1, job 2, job 3. If you want to do Google Slides, that works as well. You can almost do like a slide per step per job. Okay, so you'd have 6 times 5, 30 different slides, right? Plus title and pictures. You also need to include your handwritten calculations showing all your work from step 2 of each job. Okay? Now, yes, you can use a calculator on this. And I'm going to show you another tool that actually does even better than just a calculator. It organizes and does the calculations for you. You still need to write all that down by hand. Take a picture or scan that in and add that into your project document. I want to see handwritten numbers crunching. Okay? Be sure to include your source for the bids in step 3. Step 3 is where you find out, okay, how much will it cost to have Home Depot install the carpet? Okay, you can buy your carpet from Home Depot and they offer installation. How much do they charge? You write that up, the total. So you got to tell me, this one comes from Home Depot. This one comes from Menards, or this one comes from Carpets R Us down the street, whatever it is. Okay? Do not contact actual professionals and get a bid for this. Okay? I don't want you interrupting anybody's actual business. Okay? You get the best estimate you can find on a website somewhere. All right? Don't even put in your personal information. I really recommend HomeAdvisor.com. I'm going to be using it for the example today. I'll show you what it's all about. HomeAdvisor is trying to direct you towards hiring a local professional, and they will offer you, hey, get a specific estimate for your task. All you got to do is tell us everything about you and your project. It's like, don't even go that far. Don't input more information. Okay? Don't tell them your address and such. Okay? Just the closest estimate you can find without personalizing it on a website somewhere. Is that clear on the boundaries there? And so if the best you can do is your final report says, it'll cost, for this job, installation will be between $1,000 and $2,000. If you have to give me that kind of a range, that's fine. If that, you tell me where you got that source from, and if that's the best available, that's the best available. Okay? Don't feel bad about that. But you should still do things like including, sales tax and delivery and those other fees that they list out there. We're going to complete job 3, the sheetrocking the garage, together in class as an example. This is an ongoing example. I've been doing it all day. We started in 4th period. We continued in 7th period. I'm going to introduce the basics for you in 8th period, but we will build on those calculations. And then I'm going to continue them tomorrow into the final details and getting all the extra tools and installation costs then. Okay? So if you want the full example all done for you, you got to watch multiple videos. That's the only thing I ask. Okay? I'm giving you all this free stuff. I just ask that you watch the whole thing if you want it. Other than that, you have the rest of this week, the whole week, all the class time, out of class time. If you're in the geometry small group, you have that time, whole week, plus the weekend to work on this. There's no additional, outside the weekly writing activity, that always goes up. Okay? There's no other homeworks. You've got 7 days to complete a project that is broken into 6 jobs, one of which we're doing together. So it's really 5 jobs that you have to do, 5 parts to do in 7 days. If you do 1 part per day, you're done by the weekend. Good deal? Okay. Any other questions at this point? Overall, how are we doing? No? Okay. Then let's go into more details with the project document itself. Building a home. All right, you can read the intro there yourself. We're going to get into talking about these are the 6 jobs. Okay? You've got to carpet 3 bedrooms. Okay? And that means do the full job of installing carpet, which means more than just buy the carpet. There's other things to go along with that. Did you know under every carpet is a thing called carpet pad? It's a foam cushion layer, and that's what actually makes carpet comfortable to walk on. It's why this carpet is so uncomfortable to walk on, because there is no carpet padding. Okay? That's the difference. So there's these other details that as you research, you'll find out, there's not just this. Okay? You're going to carpet 3 bedrooms. Put hardwood floors for the living room and dining room. They don't have to be real hardwood floors. You just want it to look like hardwood floors. Remember, part of your project is going to be provide some options. So maybe your 2 options for those rooms are here's the real hardwood, it will cost this much. Here's the fake plastic look-alike, it will cost this much. What are the pros and cons of each one? Okay? We're going to sheetrock the garage wall and ceiling together. They tell you, assume a 10-foot ceiling there. First, you got to figure out, what the heck is sheetrock? We'll talk about that. Tile the bathroom and the front entry. They don't have to be the same tile. Okay? Paint the living room and dining room. Assume a 12-foot ceiling if you're using the example floor plan. If you're using your own floor plan, you will know how that's either your actual house, or when you look it up, they'll tell you how tall are the ceilings there. Sounds straightforward. You guys know how paint works. 6, put baseboard in all rooms that are measured in the floor plan. Baseboard is this thing that goes around the bottom. Okay? Its main purpose is to cover the edge of the carpet. All right? But here it also provides a nice place for you to knock your toes and not scratch up the paint. So that's going to be all around the perimeter of every room. For each job, you will then do the following. Research the stuff required. For carpet, you'll look up carpets, paints, and different types and such. Find out what sizes it comes in. How do you buy it? Is it by the yard, by the square foot, by the gallon, such and such. List the names of at least 2 suppliers that sell the product. You can use Home Depot and Menards if you want, or you can go more specific if you want to use a local hardware store, if you want to use the carpet-specific store, the paint-specific store, whatever. Up to you. Just pick 2. And I want you to show that you have looked at least 2. Okay? And then pick some out. If possible, obtain literature about the product, showing samples, colors, and types. You don't need to go somewhere and pick up a brochure. Just use the website. For example, what do I got right now? Here is some drywall from Menards. They have a description. Okay? Hey, it's made in the USA. Remember, you're putting together a project proposal. Your ultimate write-up is offering to a client, say, hey, I want you to pay me to do the job. Here's what we're going to use. We're going to use this drywall. Why? Because it has tapered edges for smooth finished joints. Right? It's the best drywall. Okay? Sell your client on the drywall you picked out. So pick a couple things from there. That's as much literature as you need. Just grab some details from the website. I almost wish we had the Home Depot one open up. The Home Depot one went into much bigger detail. They put advertisement stuff. You ever shopped on Amazon? And sometimes there's barely a description. Sometimes there's this whole big blog post from the company with pictures of happy people with the product going, it's great, it's waterproof, it does this, right? All that stuff. Grab some of that. Okay, pick one to use. Step 2, calculate the quantity needed. Okay? Show your calculations in detail, how you arrived at the quantity you need. Explain how you would order it from the supplier. I don't want you to say, pick up the phone, dial, no. I mean, when you go to buy, say, the carpet. You're carpeting 3 bedrooms. You could add the 3 rooms together and get a total amount of carpet required. But you're not going to buy one giant piece of carpet that size, are you? No, that's ridiculous. You order it per room. So that's when they say, how much do you need? That's total. How do you buy it? I buy it as 3 rooms of these sizes. Right? You report that to the person you're buying it from, and they cut it appropriately. Right? We'll go through that with the drywall. Okay? Obtain at least 2 bids for the job to be done. So the bids are the labor. So there's one with and without. Hire the professionals or do it yourself. What are the trade-offs? Okay, so get at least 1 listing for with the professionals and at least 1 with doing it yourself. There's other costs associated with doing it yourself. Find out if there's different levels of quality for the product. Why would you want a certain level of quality? Right? I will point to you directly. The Home Advisor has all of this information, all of the possibilities, everything you need to know can be found from that site. It's a great resource for these types of things. Select one bid and explain why you picked that bid. So you pick whichever one you think is best. It's not going to be the absolute best. Everything has a trade-off. But you have to have a preference. So that in step 5, you put all of this together, you type it all up, and you present it. Okay? Write a clear, itemized cost estimate. That means every item, this much, this thing costs this plus this, here's the total. As if you were a contractor bidding the job for a client. You may want to include an alternate choice with an explanation of the possible benefits of choosing one option over the other. It says may, you should. You definitely have to. I'm telling you, pick 2 options. In addition, include the sample materials, detailed calculations, and final costs with and without labor. So all of that stuff you went through. Every job, I want to see 2 different total costs. Right? Now, what creates the difference is up to you. Whether you're like, here's the same carpet, one you do it yourself, one you hire the professionals. Or both are installed by professionals, here's carpet A, here's carpet B. Okay, so the difference could be which material you pick. Or it could be both, different materials and different labor costs. I don't care why they're different, you just have to give me 2 different totals. So there's always an option for each of the jobs. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, one other detail that is not included in the classroom post. What do you need to include in your final cost estimate? You definitely have to have the primary material. If you're installing carpet, you need to have carpet. If you're painting, you need to have the cost of paint. Obvious. Install labor and delivery and such. Okay? You need to at least have researched one of that. Okay? It doesn't have to be both of your final options could be DIY, but your research needs to back up that you looked into one of them. Okay? So you have to include a labor cost for each job at some point. But that's as far as you have to go for the project. That's the bare minimum, just the stuff they talk about there. However, realistically, there's always more to it. So I'm offering you some bonus points, extra credit, opportunity, right here that is not listed on the post. You have to write this down now or see it on the video in order to understand this. There's secondary materials. Okay? Like with the carpet, you always have to buy the carpet pad as well. We're going to find out with the drywall, if you do it yourself and you just buy drywall, you're going to bring it home and then realize you have no way to actually attach it because you also need to buy the drywall screws. They didn't say that on this page. Okay? Home Depot and Menards do a good job of, at the bottom of the page, it'll recommend like, hey, other people who viewed this item also bought, and then you look at it and you go like, oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. I bet I need drywall screws for that. To actually, attach the drywall to the studs. That's a secondary material. Right? It's going to cost more money. You have to buy those. Okay? For the sake of this project, it's bonus though. So if you want a more realistic experience, or just extra credit points, look into all those extra things that you need to buy to do the job. Those can be the secondary materials, stuff that is used up in the project, and tools to do the job. If you hire professionals, they bring their own tools. If you do it yourself, you have to have the tools. If you don't have them already, you got to buy them. Again, drywall gets attached to the 2x4s, the studs in the wall with drywall screws. At the very least, theoretically, you can do that with a screwdriver. Maybe you already have one of those. It is not at all practical to install drywall with a screwdriver. You need a power drill. Well, driver, okay? So if you don't already have one, add that to your list. Okay, look at Home Depot. How much does it cost for a power drill driver? That's another, $40 or whatever. But it's a tool, which means you now have it to do the next job, right? Paint. We talked about painting the room here. We didn't talk about, well, you got to buy brushes and rollers and that extra, 8-foot stick that goes onto the roller so you can reach the top. Especially when they said, 12-foot ceilings? You need the extendo stick, right? You got to get the big one. and then the little roller tray, okay, and the little thing that clips onto the inside of the paint bucket so you can wipe off the extra from your, like all of that stuff, the accoutrement, you got to buy those. Right? Listing those out is bonus points. Any questions there? Okay, that is the project overview. Now let's get into the example. You are given this sample floor plan here. It includes 2 regular bedrooms and a bathroom, 1 master bedroom and attached bathroom. There's the entryway and living room, kitchen, dining room. It's not a bad layout, kind of just a basic ranch-style home. Front door, back door, or maybe this is the front door, that's the back door. I'm inclined to think this is the back door with like the mudroom kind of thing, but whatever. Side door, and there's not actually a garage. They kind of forgot that part. So I have found for you a garage sample, and I've attached it. So even if you don't follow along with this example yourself, there is this image attached there, and you can pick what size of garage you want to work with. Right? We're going to use the 2-car garage, because that's what they chose 4th period. So we'll work with that. So we're going to go through, let's do the measurements first, get some of the basics out of the way. This is step 2, calculations. We'll come back to the research. So looking at this garage, we've got a 4-sided square here. It's 20 feet by 20 feet, nice and easy. And a 16-foot garage door there. So we have 1, 2, 3 full walls of 20 by 10 feet. Remember it said assume the garage was 10-foot ceiling. So that's 600 square feet there. The front wall has a giant hole in it. 16-foot garage door. So we only have 2 feet on either side. So that's 4 feet by 10 feet, another 40 feet to cover. Okay? You don't cover up the garage door with drywall. I hope that was somewhat obvious. So we got to go around that. And then the ceiling is a great big square on top, 20 by 20, another 400 feet, for a total of 1,040 square feet of drywall needed for this project. There's all of step 2 right there. Well, most of, actually. That's the square feet, but that doesn't tell us like how many of the things we need to buy. Okay? Well, I did some research already. Drywall comes in usually 4-foot panels, most common of which is a 4 by 8. Okay, that's why it's twice as long as it is wide. But you can also buy 4 by 10-foot panels. That's really convenient because we have 10-foot high ceilings. That's just one vertical panel, straight up. And you don't have to cut smaller pieces to fill that 2-foot gap at the top, right? Doesn't that sound a lot easier? Like if you're going to do it yourself, this is the way to go. If you're hiring a professional, this is the way they would prefer to do it because they don't want to do more work, okay? So you buy it in 4 by 10-foot panels, which means square feet. Each panel is 40 apiece. So we divide 1040 by 40 to get 26 total panels needed. Not bad, huh? Now, here's the trick with drywall. Drywall, or sheetrock, let me pull up the facts here. Let's see, was it on this page or this page? So from Home Advisor, they have this wonderful page from their True Cost Guide. Highly, highly recommend. You can get almost all the details you need for every part of this project from this website. And then combine that with one of the actual shops, Home Depot or Menards, to get the prices of the stuff, and you're set to go. They will explain everything. If you know nothing about home improvement, read through everything on the appropriate articles on this site, and you'll be all caught up. You'll be ready to do it yourself. But they give you estimates of, hey, here's about how much drywall usually costs to install. And that includes parts and labor. And then they break it down by how much does it cost to install drywall? How much does it cost to hang the drywall on the wall versus cost to finish the drywall? Remember the bit about quality? Like, well, what quality of installation do you want? This is it, level of finish. Do you want literally level 0, drywall is hung, attached to the wall frame? Screw it in and say done. Or do you want to go another level and tape up this to seal the seams, joint compound to cover the tape? Do you want to see the seams or actually cover the seams? So you get, notice like we don't have seams on this wall. They did that part. They actually went to, like this wall is all the way to level 5. You got to go to 4 or 5 before you're ready to paint. Right? So if you want a finished garage, ready to be painted and look nice, you want a level 4 or 5 finish. That's going to cost more. Okay? Cost to hang per sheet. This is probably as specific as we'll get for our estimate, because we're not going to put in our information and get the like specific, hey, your project estimate. We'll use this for our calculation. But I also like down here, ooh, look at that, cost to drywall a garage. Like, this just gives us an overview. So we should already expect, hey, our calculation should probably end up somewhere in, let's see, 2-car garage in the $1,400 to $4,200 range. If we land outside of that range, we're doing something rather weird. Okay? So this is a good ballpark estimate. But we can get more specific. Lots of information here. There was one with, oh yeah, look at this little tidbit here. Like, this is the sweet details you get for reading. Contractors often use thicker or fire-resistant panels for this space. Oh. So if you wondered why I picked out this panel from Menards, okay? Type X fire rated. That's why. It said, hey, they usually use the fire, not fireproof, fire resistant. Okay? You have an internal combustion engine inside this box. You want some fire protection. Okay? Good idea. There's some other pieces here. Drywall panel size. Well, we looked that up at the actual store to buy them from. What is drywall? Here, if you have no idea, find out what it is. Drywall, also called gypsum board. Soft sedimentary mineral used in plaster, fertilizer, construction. Powdered, flattened into a sheet, wrapped in heavy paper. They call it sheet rock because it is a sheet made out of rock. Gypsum is a very lightweight, fragile rock, easy to break. They grind it up into a powder, smash it flat, press it between 2 layers of paper. That's all drywall is. Okay? How do I calculate how much drywall I need? This drywall calculator. Oh, look at that. Another fantastic resource from Home Advisor, resources, calculators. They've got a drywall calculator. There's another one there to calculate paint. It looks pretty much the same, right? They do it like per wall. This wall is this big. This wall is this big. They multiply it up, total. They'll even figure out how many sheets you need. That's pretty nice. If you use this, which you absolutely may, you still need to write all this down by hand. Okay? I don't need to see that you worked out the multiplication by hand, but you need to write out all the work. I multiplied this number by this number, I got this result. Okay? That's what I have here. Now, I happen to have all multiples of 10, so it was very easy results, but still. I don't need to see the long division. But give me the setup. But this is where I got this detail. They say, always purchase a few more sheets than recommended for waste allowance. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good point. Right? And I think they say it right here. For waste, right, purchase at least 2 extra sheets. Because what if you break one? As I said, this is fragile stuff. So I added 2 extra here. So 26 panels, to actually do it. We're going to buy 2 more just in case, so we don't have to make a whole nother trip just because you stepped on one. So 28 panels. Here is the rough cost so far for purchasing those panels. Notice I have 2 options. Here's a mold-resistant one from Home Depot. They cost $13.11 each, times 28, this much. Don't forget taxes. Okay, tax around here, 6.25%. So just multiply by 1.0625. Right? Write this down, because you're going to be needing that number on basically every job in this project. Unless you're going to drive to Wisconsin to buy your materials there, and then, no, don't do that. That's more complicated. Okay? So total cost for all those panels would be $390. Or here's the fire-resistant ones from Menards. They are $10.46 a piece. Ooh, much cheaper. So $292.88 plus tax takes us to $311. So right from there, I'm looking at the Menards one is actually fire resistant. Mold resistance would be nice, I guess. But if we go with a level of finish that lets us put some paint on the board, that'll provide some moisture protection itself. So we can be pretty comfortable with just this. So this is cheaper. Let's use that one from here. So we'll find 2 estimates from there. We'll use this as our materials, and then we'll compare the DIY price versus the professional price. And those will be our 2 final options that I report in step 5. Okay? I like this one better, so we'll go with this one. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Let's consult the project document. We've researched the product. If you want more details of that, go back and watch periods 4 and 7. It comes in 4x10 sheets. We can get from Home Depot, Menards, right? Got that. Got the quantity, 28 sheets of it. Right? How are we ordering it? We are ordering it in 4x10 sheets. Okay? Now we need to get the labor bids. How much is it actually going to cost to put together? So this is where Home Advisor is going to shine. This calculator is how much we actually need. So let's go back to cost, right? Cost to hang. So let's see here. Cost to hang the drywall. This does not include taping, mud, or finishing. You usually choose this for temporary structures if you're not sure you want to finish. Cost to finish drywall. So does that include the hanging? Average cost to hang and finish drywall. Oh, okay. Let's look at that. That is $65 for a 4x8 sheet. $100 for a 4x12 sheet. Number of panels depends on the dimensions of the room. So if we go per sheet, we're using a 10-foot sheet instead of the 8-foot sheet. Does that change our cost significantly? I don't know. We'd have to, that's going to be one of the ranges. We just kind of make a decision. That's where getting the specific quote from the actual professional would be more specific. I'm going to rule, for this example, we can say it's the same. We're not changing how many sheets. It's just a little bit taller ceilings. What do we think? We want the upper end or the lower end? 65 or 100? Let's see how they got that. What about hanging? Let's see, materials. We got to pay for that. Basic labor. And finishing and texturing. Drywall costs 1 to 3 square foot, including materials and installation. So this includes the drywall itself, right? Am I interpreting that correctly? Like, that's what we got to read through on this. What is included, what is not included? This does not include taping, mud, or finishing. That's what this does. That was all of these, right? Level 1, tape, seal, joint compound. Level 4 goes up to 3 coats of compound, good enough for flat paint or light finishes, which is probably what we'll do for a garage. Right? So then we're looking at $250 per square foot. So let's go back to our example calculation. And let's write this down. So we want so for the Pro install, what are we looking at? We're looking at, we're going to select the level 4 finish. Okay, that includes all the materials, and labor, and those materials would be the drywall, tape, and mud. It's the nickname for the joint compound, the putty, okay? It's not actually putty. The putty is what you use to fill a hole in the drywall. It's not what you use when you install it new, but regardless. And that is $2.50 per square foot, right? All right, let's run the numbers. So $2.50 times, how many square feet of drywall do we need? We need 1040. And from earlier reading or research, the professionals will charge you per what you actually need in the room. Okay? They are professionals. They are not running nearly as high of a risk of breaking stuff as they go. So they will not charge you extra for additional panels of oops, just in case. They'll give you per this price. So that's one nice piece of that. So times 1040. So times 1040. All right, calculator. 1040 times 250, 2,600. $2,600 to have the professionals install for that. And again, what does that include? That includes the material and the labor itself. Oh, so that means we don't even have to include this over here. We're not buying it ourselves. They said that includes all the materials. Flat rate, done. That's kind of convenient. Okay. When you shop for other things like carpet, they almost always offer install on carpet. Okay? Sometimes they will give you different prices. They will say, we will charge you whatever, $1.50 per square foot, and installation is an additional whatever on top of that. Or they will say, hey, it's $3 per square foot with installation. So you've got to read carefully what is included, what is not included. This is all included. That's the final price of the job. Done. I have my first estimate. Okay? Bid 1, right there, $2,600. Okay, that's a level 4 professional finish from Home Advisor. Okay, if you want to source that, right? This is from source Home Advisor. Now, what about DIY? Well, if you're doing it yourself, you're going to need other things, right? That's why I talked about those secondary materials and tools. So, at the basic level, if you're not going for any of those bonus points, you can stop right here and say, hey, it'll just cost you $311 to buy the fire-resistant board from Menards. Done. And you can call that bid, the DIY bid number 2. I want to go for a little bit extra. Okay? I want those bonus points. Heck yeah. I also want a realistic estimate. Because if you budget only $311 and try to actually do this yourself, you are going to be very disappointed when it turns out to cost twice as that. I don't know. I hope it's not twice that. I'm hoping this is most of the cost. We'll find out. We still need to do other things. So, a couple ways to know what else you need. From the Menards or Home Depot site, you scroll down here and it says optional accessories, or people also bought all this other stuff. Okay? Shims, a rasp, drywall screw, setter, dimpler. I've heard people say that the dimpler actually causes problems, so let's not do that. We definitely need some screws, right? We definitely need some tape. We definitely need some mud. Okay, so there's some prices of the stuff. How much do we need of that stuff? Hey, Home Advisor, do you have any way to find out how much of these other things I need? Let's find out. Sheetrock cost, drywall install cost factors. How much do drywallers make? Oh, how much drywall tape do I need? How much joint compound do I need? That's perfect. We're only missing screws there. Okay, well, let's start with what we got. I think there is a mention of screws on the drywall calculator, so we can get to that in a moment. How much tape? Right here. 12 feet of tape per 4x8 panel translates into 240 feet of tape for a 200 square foot room. Okay, why is it 12 feet of tape per 4x8 panel? Because we're using a 4x10 panel. So in theory, it's a bigger panel. Do we need more tape? I would guess, right? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do they get that? Because that's not the full perimeter. That's not the 2 of the 8 sides. That would be 16. 3 of the sides? What makes most sense? Can we just use that? 12 feet per panel? That's the best estimate we've got. Okay. What if we round up? Let's go, it was 2 feet bigger. Let's go 14 feet. Does that sound reasonable? Okay, write that down. Okay. Tape. 14 feet per panel. How many panels are we using? Not how many we're buying. The 2 extra will not end up on the wall. They won't get taped. So make sure you go back and use the 26. Okay, so times 26 panels. 14 times 26. 364 feet of tape. Oops, where'd it go? Right here. So I need to make sure I buy at least that much, right? So go to Home Depot. Okay, Home Depot, just, I don't know what tape to get. Can we just get the regular one? The first one that shows up. That looks good. Paper face, composite, drywall, joint tape. Awesome. One roll of 100 feet is $23.13. How many rolls do I need? I have to round up to 400, right? I got to buy 4 rolls. So we're going to get 4 100-foot rolls, roll, double L, times, what did it say, 24.13? 23.13. Oh, I'm sorry. $23.13. All right, 23.13 times 4, 92.52 times 1.0625 for tax, $98.03. 30 cents. Okay, that is with tax. That's an extra $100 just to cover all the seams. Oh, and we need the joint compound. See what I mean by it's starting to add up? Like, that's a huge chunk that you didn't budget for if you just did the drywall part. Okay? All right, we are over time. So again, I will be continuing with this example tomorrow. Look for those videos. Otherwise, you're on your own. So long, farewell, enjoy the rest of your day.